Hello, Syngap Land. My name is Michael Graglia. This is episode 63 of Syngap 10, your 10-minute weekly briefing on everything you need to know about Syngap 1. Open secret these days, these are going a little over 10 minutes. I'm sorry, it's just a lot going on. I'm just back from the Epilepsy Foundation Pipeline Conference. This conference happens every 2 years in Santa Clara, near my house here in California, and where they go over all the things that are coming up and cool research, not research as much as pipeline, like drugs, things that are happening for Syngap. There was a lot of interesting conversation about sensors and wearables and night monitoring, and I need to think more about that stuff. But the thing I wanted to share with you on the top, and then I got other things I got to get to, so stay with me, listen to this whole thing, because there's a lot of good stuff at the end. But the thing I want to get to at the top is at the end of yesterday, they went through all updates on all these drugs that are coming to trial. And there were three that I want to tell you about. One of them was, why did I think? Oh, I remember why there's three. Yeah. One of them was the Kayak Study from a company you've never heard of called Neurocrine Biosciences. And I really liked the way that study was presented. I'll put the link in the show notes. It's for SCN8A. SCN8A is sodium. The SCN is for sodium channel. And you know, there's a fatality rate in that disease, which is really hard, and the seizures are bad, and you don't want to see an 8A. But the point I want to make on that study is it's a small molecule for a genetic disease, right? For a monogenic disease, and the gene is SCN8A. We have a monogenic disease, Syngap1, and we would love a small molecule, right? You know, I don't care if it's a small molecule or a genetic therapy you're going to bring for our kids. Just get it to market and get it over here fast, people. We gotta get this disease cured. And the thing that struck me in that was the guy was like, we need to be very careful on who we include in this study. We need a confirmed genetic diagnosis, confirmed either by existing clinical presentation and or in vitro work, which means these dish work. And I was like, yeah, exactly. Right? And we've been saying this for some time. When a patient comes to me with a variant of uncertain significance, I'm like, get that resolved. Get it resolved and get it resolved quick. Because you're going to want to be in a clinical trial one day, and if you do not have that VUS resolved, even if you're certain in your bones that you've got Syngap, if you don't have a piece of paper backed up by somebody who's done the science that says you have the mutation, you're in trouble. And you've got to be able to document your mutation. So this is where documentation is so key, my friends. And I'm going to say it until I'm blue in the face. If you're listening to this and you're related to someone with Syngap and you haven't signed up for Syngap 1, for Citizen, if you haven't signed up for Citizen, you're going to regret it. It's going to make your life easier right now. It's going to make caring for your loved one easier right now. And it's going to be really valuable as time goes on. You need all this documentation in one place. So the Kayak Study looks really promising, exciting news for the people in 8A. I'll put the link in the show notes. If your kid's got 8A, you should sign up for that study. I thought it was pretty cool. Praxis also gave an update on Prax 562. Prax 562 does some really cool stuff with another sodium channel. I can't remember which one. And that can actually help SCN2A and SCN8A. Very good news, If you've got SCN8A, it's not great, but the good news is therapy's on the way. And that was exciting because as you remember from episode 58, if you're paying attention, go listen to episode 58, Prax 090 is going to be for Syngap 1. Now, if you watch the markets, you know that yesterday Praxis did not have a good day. Unfortunately, one of their other molecules missed some endpoints in a trial, and their stock price went way down. That's a little nerve-wracking for us because we need them to have enough money to work on Syngap 1 in a year. So this is why I always say, first of all, we send our warm wishes to our friends at Praxis. We hope you guys recover from this. We're sure your epilepsy pipeline will carry the day. And this is why I'm always saying we need more companies, guys, because these deals can die 1,000 deaths, right? You just never know what's going to happen to who when. And so what we saw yesterday of Praxis was a bad day. That stock price is not good news. And hopefully it'll recover, and hopefully they'll keep working on Syngap, and hopefully they'll be doing a clinical trial in a year or two. But we need as many shots on goal as possible. So anyway, the Praxis guy was talking at the Epilepsy Pipeline Conference yesterday. He was talking about 562. And again, it was really interesting to hear how he framed these trials, because they have Prax 562, which is, I think, a small molecule. I could be wrong about that. But they have another pipeline drug for 8A, which is an ASO. And that's interesting because we're going to have an ASO, antisense oligonucleotide. if you remember from episode 38, I'm going way back to December now. In episode 38, I was at the Angelman conference, and I was telling you how there were multiple, like 3, 4, 5, probably 4, companies presenting ASOs for Angelman. And I was sitting there in the room paying so much attention, being like, okay, what's this going to be like for Syngap? What things are they asking for? How do we prepare? One of the ways we prepare is we sign up for Citizen, but other ways we prepare is we make sure that we really understand our mutations. And we've talked about this before. But I always get excited when I see people from drug companies standing in front of a room of their peers talking about clinical trials, the kind of which we need for our kids and we hope to have soon. And then the third one who talked was another company out of San Diego called Engrail. And Engrail has this synthetic, I'm going to get the words wrong, but basically it's like it has the same mode of action as a benzodiazepine, which we know many of our kids are on certain benzos, are really effective at tamping down seizures, but they also kind of slow kids down. And this drug does not do the slowing down. So it has all the upsides of benzos and none of the downsides of benzos. So Engrail, if you're paying attention, they're one to watch, because when that drug comes to market, I guarantee you some of our kids are going to end up on it. Super exciting. I was really grateful that we're alive. There's a lot about this current day and age. It's mind-numbing. But in terms of the science, we are in a time when if you have a monogenic epilepsy, there's a lot of reason to be hopeful. And I'll put links to everything I just talked about in the show notes. That was a really good morning. I want to talk about 3 other things. And then I'm trying to keep it to 3. It might be 4. One of them, on Thursday, we have a Probably Genetic webinar. Do not miss that. We have a Probably Genetic webinar on Thursday, which is in 2 days, June 9th. Syngap.fund/PG. The Probably Genetic effort is super exciting for 2 reasons. One, we're going out and we're finding patients. We are using this tool. We have built a little survey you can take online, syngap.fund/PG. Or syngap.fund/maybe if you want to do the survey. If you haven't done the survey, please do the survey. And when it says you have Syngap 1, click that as a diagnosis because they'll use that to train the algorithm and further refine it. But the point is, we've partnered with Probably Genetic. We've put together this survey. We're pushing it out into the world, and we're identifying people who might have Syngap. And guess what? I was talking to Ambit Healthcare 2 weeks ago, who I've been in touch with over time, and I told them about this, and they're like, we want to do testing. I was like, hey, if you'll do testing for these people we've identified through Probably Genetic, create a link. I'll send it to them. And guess what? They made a link. And guess what? We sent it to them. So hopefully those people are getting genetic counseling and testing via Ambit right now for free. Built, ready to go. So there's a lot of good stuff happening, and I'm really proud of that partnership. And I think we're going to help find more patients, which is good because everybody needs to know if they have Syngap. And it's good for us because as our community grows, it's reasonable to assume we'll have more pharma partners go after us. Very exciting all the way around. Probably Genetic on Thursday. Do not miss that. Thank you, PG. Thank you, Ambit. And by the way, and the other thing I want to talk about before I go there is we sent out a newsletter on June 3rd, which is 4 days ago, according to basic arithmetic. And it was a very good newsletter. I will put the link in the show notes. Do not miss it. Oh my gosh, I forgot to mention something else. The first thing I talk about in that newsletter is we're having a conference on December 1st and 2nd. We're having a conference on December 1st and 2nd. If you remember the last episode of Syngap 10, I was talking about an Easter egg. That was it. We're having a conference on December 1st and 2nd. December 1st is going to be heavy-duty science, all about clinical trials. Be there. December 2nd is going to be Family Connect. We're still putting the agenda together. It's going to be a full day of families connecting, everything but the science, because the science was the day before. So if you don't like the science, don't come on Thursday, but don't miss Friday. And it's in Nashville. Who doesn't love Nashville? I have never been to Nashville, but I'm going on December 1st. So I look forward to seeing you there, December 1st and 2nd, syngap.fund/treat. Sign up now, get your rooms, be there. It's going to be amazing. And then in this newsletter, which is just a tour de force, we cover the mice, we cover the MDBR, there's a fundraising update in there too. That also might have been the Easter egg now that I think about it. Whatever. There's a fundraising update. So we made a 2-page PDF. It's really beautiful. And it sums up what we've done, where we're going, what's funded. It's all in one document. It's amazing. And it's huge props to the team. We call out the Sprint for Syngap in the newsletter. We talk about Splash for Syngap, which, by the way, is in like 2 weeks, June 21st, 621. Take pictures. Yay. And we talk about all the events. And we talk about, hey, the PG webinar. And we also talk about another webinar. So just to review, number 1. Go to this webinar on Thursday. It's excellent. Number 2, if you didn't read the newsletter, links in the show notes. Go dig out the newsletter. Make sure I didn't end up in your spam box. These newsletters are a ton of work, and you should read them. They're very good. Number 3, I just came out of a prep webinar. When people ask you to do these webinars, they make you, they say, oh, it's just gonna be an hour. And then they're like, oh, by the way, we're gonna have a prep meeting. You're like, oh, it's 2 hours, whatever. So I just had the prep meeting for this panel discussion I'm doing in 2 weeks. And I did not make this name. Celebrating men in the rare epilepsies, making a difference. It's a bit overstated for me, but it's an incredible panel. It's me. It's almost incredible. It's me. It's Bo Bigelow, who of USP7, Dr. Justin West of KCNT1. Justin's amazing. It's Jeff D'Angelo of Champ One, and then we're being moderated by Glenn Lloyd, who's the executive director of EF in Minnesota, and really cool guy. And in this prep meeting, like, we got to it. Glenn was like, "What's it like to be a dad? Why aren't more dads involved? What have you done? How's your journey been? Blah, blah, blah. How's your partnership?" It was intense, and I mean, I was like, "This is gonna be a really good panel." I'm excited to watch this panel because when I'm in it, I'm just going to be like, blah, 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 blah. I'm actually go back and watch this one. So that was just the prep session. So I'm really looking forward to June 16th, this incredible panel with 3 dads who I've known for a while, Bo, Justin, and Jeff, who were awesome. And this guy who I just met, Glenn Lloyd from the Epilepsy Foundation, Minnesota, who seems very cool. And I'm looking forward to this one because this issue of dads in the space of rare is a very, very interesting. There's a lot of juice you can get when you squeeze on that one. And so I'm looking forward to that. That'll be June 16th. I'll put the link in the show notes. Please sign up for that webinar because it's a rich topic. It's a rich topic. I think that's all the stuff that I wanted to cover in this one. As usual, I'll put links in the show notes. There is a litany of events and fundraisers this year. If you can only go to one, December 1st, and 2nd in Nashville, that's the one to go to. If you like galas, we got the Jersey Gala in October. We've got the golf in North Carolina. We've got the Atlanta Gala in November, which is going to be amazing. There's the Global Genes Conference in San Diego in September. There's a Precision Medicine or Personalized Medicine Coalition meeting in November. I think I just agreed to speak at. But I'll put all this in the show notes. Please come. Oh, I want to mention one more thing. Speaking of webinar, we pre-recorded a podcast with the dad. I'm on the dad theme today. Dad to Dad, which is this very cool podcast all about dads with special needs kids. He interviewed me forever ago, and he just dropped that episode. And that's again on this topic of dads and fatherhood and rare. If that's of interest to you, I'll include that in the show notes. I want to thank the Dad to Dad organization for including me in that, and yeah, it's very special what they do over there. So that's it, episode 63. Oh, some of you I've been talking to you guys about tumor and health. So I got my tumor out last week from Dr. Esserman, who's at UCSF. She's amazing. I was very lucky to get her. Her initial read was, I've seen worse. And we just got some initial pathology back, and it's 90% good. And it's like 10%, this is weird, and we're going to do genetics. So we're still waiting on genetics. I don't think I can declare victory yet. But so far, no one's told me I have cancer, and I think I'm just going to have to be closely followed. So I'm really grateful that I can say that out loud. And I think I'm in the clear, but I'm still pending one genetic report. So I'm a little loath to say that. But a lot of you very kindly have been calling me. Beata sent, thank you for the flowers. I got these amazing flowers from Beata. So I'm not dead yet, guys. I think I'm okay. I've been really scared. I'm not going to lie to you. And it's been really sobering for the past month. And I'm really glad to say that this tumor is so far so good. We're just going to wait for the genetics to come back. But I really appreciate all the people who've reached out and all the care and concern. And I'm hoping that we can put this behind me so I can get back to work, because we've got a lot of work to do. And if you can help, please help with money or time. We got a lot of work to do, guys. We got to get more people in Citizen. We got to fund more science. We got to get therapies for our kids, so that in 2 years at the next Epilepsy Pipeline Conference, oh, this is a beautiful bookend. In 2 years in the next Epilepsy Pipeline Conference, we can be talking about Syngap 1. I didn't even plan that. That was amazing. All right. Thanks, everybody.